Yo guys, it is your personal Joy Barbie coming to you live, and in this video I want to talk about all things joy. I want to talk about how you're blocking joy and how to stay in your own personal joy bubble no matter what anybody else is doing, okay? Because this is actually the key to becoming one of the most joyful people around, is being able to stay in your center around other people who are not joyful, right? And being able to choose your frequency and where you're going to live, right? If you're going to live in joy. Hey Peter, hello from Australia. What is up? Yeah, so you get to choose what frequency you live in, right? And you don't have to take in, what's going on around you, right? So I want to talk about all things joy, simple ways that you are blocking joy. A lot of the stuff I'm going to say in this video is going to sound like really fucking simple, but most people are not doing this, okay? And I've also just realized, hey Winnie, hey Kat, all the hot babes are here. I've also just realized, I feel like I'm the most fucking joyful person that I know, literally. I look around, and I've been seeing a lot of other people's posts lately and stuff about how they're all, going through this turmoil and, all this, negative shit is happening or whatever, and they're just, keeping on going, and I'm just, I just don't relate. I think I've rose above that, you guys, which is pretty fucking cool, and I also have this feeling of, oh shit, I'm gonna have to teach these motherfuckers because I know some shit that these people are not knowing. So the first thing that I want to actually talk about is this certain belief that humans freaking have, and I'm done with it. I think you're done with it if you're watching this video. It's this belief that, to be in joy, a lot, right? I'm not saying you have to be bursting with joy 1,000% of the time, right? I'm not, but I do feel that I'm in joy more than most humans, like I said. But it's this belief that, I have to struggle to learn or to grow, okay? So it's this struggle vibration of I have to struggle and, lack joy in order to grow or in order to be a successful person or in order to be worthy, I have to go through this fucking struggle and, things have to be hard and difficult, and I have to learn lessons, and while it's true you're always learning lessons, and you will have to push through some struggles and be hardcore about your life, you can live in joy and you can grow through joy, and it's like a common human belief. You can see it in a lot of people and hear it in a lot of people's stories and words. It's this belief that we have to struggle in order to learn and to grow, and this is a belief. That's all it is. It's just a belief, and at any moment we can actually just choose to release the struggle and choose, actually, I get to learn through joy, right? And I'm still going to learn all my soul lessons that I'm here to learn, but I'm going to learn them in joy. Does that make sense, you guys? Let me just read your comments here. Kat says, totally, I easily absorb the energy around me, and I 100% want to learn how to be man, I'm still in joy. Okay, yeah, it takes practice, but it actually doesn't take that much practice. Winnie, you're the happiest person I know. Yay! So you guys, are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? So yeah, we just want to be aware first of that belief of I have to struggle in order to grow, because this could be the reason why you are putting off joy, is because you feel I'll be in joy, but first I have to struggle and push through these hard lessons, right, in order to grow. And it's not true. It's not true. And the only place where we can ever have joy, you guys, is in this present moment. So here's another way that you're blocking joy, is by waiting to have joy later. Okay? Oh my god, it's so hot, you guys. It's so hot here. I don't know how it got so hot. It's way too hot. I need to hook up my air conditioner, but I just don't know how, and I don't want to know how. My dad usually comes over and hooks up my air conditioner, and then I message him today. I'm I don't know what the fuck to do, and he's just figure it out. It's a good experience for you to learn how to do that. And I'm fuck that. This is not who I am at a soul level. Someone needs to do this shit for me. So if anyone wants to come and hook up my air conditioner, it would be greatly appreciated. But anyways, let's continue on, even though it is very hot and I'm already sweaty in here. So yeah, Kat says, haha, yeah, like when, yeah, blank, I'll be joyful. Exactly. And this is the biggest joy killer around, because joy can only ever be in this moment, right? And here's the thing, even when you do all this shit that you say you're gonna fucking do and then you're gonna be joyful, there's always gonna be more for you to do, right? There's always gonna be more stuff. So what people do is they just put off joy for their entire lifetime. So it's like, it's a choice to either live in joy right now, where you are, with the way that you are, the way that your body is, the way that your business is, the way that, you know, your love life is, like the way that everything is. You either got to just be in joy right now or put it off forever, right? And it's always a choice, right, in this moment. So that's a big one that people do to put off their joy, right, is they literally put it off until a later date, right? This is the joy of life. Yes, Kat. Hey, Oliver. What's up, man? So yeah, stop putting this shit off until a later date, right? Okay, one more way that people are blocking joy, okay, and I used to really relate to this one, is by being too attached to things being a certain way for you, right? So like, joy is in the moment, right? But joy does not actually come from the outer world, right? And things all lining up the way that you want. While I'm not saying that things can't all line up the way that you want, or even better than the way that you want, if you're attached to, like, I'll only be joyful when these things line up the way that I want, right? Like, this is kind of the same as what I said before, but, like, a little bit different is when you're too overly attached, right? And I used to be like this. Like, I would be ready to be joyful, but only if, like, this guy ends up loving me, right? And then, of course, if he didn't, I would be just, like, devastated, right? Or, yes, I'm going to be joyful, but only if I get to do all the things that I want to do and it all happens in this perfect way that I've planned, then I'm going to be joyful. And then when things didn't happen the way that I planned, I would be fucking pissed. I'd be like, I used to be so bitchy, you guys. Like, you wouldn't even recognize the old me. I used to be such a bitch. And I was grumpy. Like, I used to be just so, like, grumpy. And if you know me now, that Brittany does not really come out ever. Like, I'm trying to think of the last time I was just, like, acting like a fucking bitch, and I just can't remember. Thank you, Brandon. Definition of beauty. Wait, is that me? Do you mean me? I'm assuming you mean me, right? So yeah, when we're too overly attached on things being a certain way, it really blocks joy. Because here's the thing, joy is always coming from within. But here's the fun, cool part of it, you guys, is when we commit to our joy and we're already feeling like we're in a place of joy, like already, everything else gives us more joy, right? So you're always creating with your emotional state, okay? So thank you for all the likes, Oliver, that's awesome. We're always creating with our emotional state. So if you allow yourself to be joyful now and feel those joyful feelings now, as you go out into the world, you will only have joyful experiences. You will only have positive, good experiences, right? But you have to allow yourself to feel the joy in this moment and feel it right now, right? And that's what so many people don't do, because we're looking outside ourselves to, like, we're trying to grab onto joy, like, out here, right? It doesn't work like that. And also, like, yeah, we're putting it off for a later date, right? Oh my god, fuck, it's hot. So, how to stay in your center around other people that are joyful, and how to stay in your own little joy bubble, okay? It takes time and practice, but I don't want you to think it takes a really long time or anything, because it doesn't. But you have to, like, really enjoy your own company and enjoy your own self and realize that everything is coming from within, right? And so when you're around other people who aren't joyful and it starts to emotionally affect you, realize it's because some part of you is resonating with how they're feeling, right? And you might say, well, I'm not a negative person. Like, I don't relate to these people at all that are out here, you know, causing me to be miserable. Like, they just suck me in or whatever. I'm an empath or whatever. No, you're just weak. Sorry. Like, whenever I see shit like that, I'm like, oh my God, like, no, you're just weak, okay? And I don't mean weak as in, like, I want you to feel bad about yourself. Like, I am, like, the queen of unconditional love and just loving the fuck out of yourself no matter what emotional state you're in. But if you're around other people and you can't maintain your joy around other people, it's you. It's not them. And here's the thing. This is going to blow your fucking mind when you hear this. So, Kat says, haha, fuck you. This is going to blow your mind. Okay, you, at a soul level, have assigned these particularly difficult people to remain joyful around. Okay, you've assigned them at a soul level. There's a soul contract in place. You've assigned these people to behave like assholes so that you can learn to get stronger in your own joy. Okay, and when you start to see it like that, you'll laugh because it's hilarious, and you can use it as a self-strengthening exercise, right? Like, you know, when you're at the gym, you know, you purposely give yourself more weights, like, to get stronger, right? And to build strength. Like, well, if you're like me, you're kind of a lazy ass bitch at the gym and you fucking don't do enough of that, but you do it a little bit, right? So this is the exact same thing. At a soul level, this is so deep, you guys. At a soul level, you have assigned these people who are draining your energy, and you're an empath, and oh, you know, it's so hard to stay in my center. Oh. You've assigned these people to strengthen yourself, right? And once you do strengthen yourself, you will be able to stay in your joy around anybody because you'll get so strong in it. But how exactly to do that is, you know, just to be that happy on your own. And I mean, it's going to be different for everybody, right? Because being in joy is different for everybody. It's a very personal experience. But what you have to do is just commit to your joy and make it your highest priority, that you are going to find something joyful in every single day, okay? And come into your power to create more joyful moments, and no matter what you're doing, right? Like, oh, what did I have happen the other day where I had some people be a little bit mean to me when I got home here. And I recognized how, like, in the past, I would have allowed that to emotionally affect me. But what I did in this moment is I was just kind of like, okay, bye. And I just, like, said bye. And then, like, I walked away from these people and I was just laughing. I'm like, wow, like, it's that easy to just fucking walk away from people that are being negative. Like, it doesn't require any emotion. Like, and I was already in really good vibes. See, here's the thing. It'll get easier, right? Like, I was still coming off a high from being in Vegas and meeting all these amazing people. And then it was my birthday, and, like, this was, like, the day after my birthday. So, and, like, so many people said happy birthday to me. So I was, like, just fucking flying high. My new best friend bought me this really cute gift and, like, took me to dinner. And, like, so I was already in a really positive vibration. So when these people were being bitches to me, it was easy for me to just be like, okay, I can't relate to this. Like, I just don't, like, this is not my vibe. Like, peace out, bye. But you could see how this could have been a different experience if, you know, I had just had my heart broken or something, and then, like, nobody said happy birthday to me. I literally got 0 wall posts. And, and instead of getting a gift on my birthday, I got, like, fired from my job. Like, if I still had, like, a fucking job where someone was my boss or something. Like, you know what I mean? And then this experience could have been very, very different, right? But as you keep committing to your joy, hey, Matthew, and you keep building on your joy, right? You keep, like, stacking up, like, joyful experience onto joyful experience onto joyful experience onto joyful experience. And you're just creating this, like, cake, like, you know, like a big wedding cake, like, where you've got this joyful experience, this one, 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 this one. Like, it's gonna take a lot more to knock you off your joy horse, right? And now it doesn't happen often. Well, other people are never the cause of you being knocked off your joy horse, okay? It's always you. It's always you. And even just, like, knowing that, you feel so much freer in your life, right? And also, you feel so much freer around other people too, because you're not needing them to act in certain ways. You're not using them for your joy, right? And you don't have to be attached to them, you know, like acting a certain way. I'm just like wiping my boob sweat because it's fucking so hot. Someone come hook up my air conditioner. It's bullshit. Dude, it's actually so hot here right now. Like, I just got back from Vegas. It's like as hot as it was in Vegas. Like, what is going on, you guys? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, is that all making sense, you guys? Like, that is how to stay in your center. And joy is such a personal thing, right? So I can't just be like, this is Brittany Taylor's method to joy, like, take these steps or whatever. It's not like that. It's like, you have to just quiet the fuck down 5 minutes a day and just ask yourself, what are like 5 things I could do today that would bring me joy? Okay? And then do those things. Okay, this is what I'm going to end this with. This is like the final most important thing. Kat says laughing so hard right now. Okay, good. Oh, and that's another thing that will bring joy, you guys, is laughter and like playing, right? So joy is a very expansive emotion. It's a lot harder to be in joy when you're like this, like you're just like, okay, and you're just not talking to anyone. You're like, nope. It's a lot harder to be in joy when you're there than if you're like, yo, what's up? And that's the thing too. Joy is a very expressive emotion. So one way that you can be in more joy is to like do a live stream, right? I'm way more in joy now that I've done this live stream, now that I'm doing this live stream, than, you know, before I did the live stream and I was just fucking sitting around and not really talking to anybody. Like, I'm way more in joy. Or joy is also, I feel like it's a social emotion too. So, you know, what I used to do wrong with joy is like I was putting off my joy to a later date, right? I was spending so much time, and you know what? It served a purpose. It served a purpose because now this is what I teach. But I was spending so much time just here with my books, reading them and studying shit, right? And like fixing myself and healing myself and shit. And, you know, the joy wasn't getting out. Like joy is, you know, it's an outward emotion, right? It's not a sitting at home by yourself reading books and healing yourself emotion. Joy is an expressive, expansive, like sending it out to everybody in the whole world and telling everybody how much you fucking think they're awesome and love them. And it's very like, it's big, right? You know, so if you want to feel more joy physically, you got to be doing some movement, right? Like now that I work out more regularly than I ever did, I feel way more joy. But also, now that I'm more social than I ever was, I feel way more joy. And I mean, that might not be the same for everybody because for some people, you know, you're more naturally introverted or whatever. But joy comes out when you're being expressive, right? Whether it's with your body, you know, you're expressing, now I'm just thinking of orgasms, you're having lots of orgasms, and you're sending it out to the world, right? So another way that you can feel more joyful, now they're just coming, now there's so many ways that I'm thinking of because I've opened the valve, but another way is by telling people how you feel, okay? And not holding it in, right? Like if you have something that you have to say to somebody, say it. For the love of joy. Hey Ryan, glad you're here too. For the love of joy, say what you want to say to people, right? If someone helped you with something, tell them. If you love someone, tell them. If someone's pissing you the fuck off, tell them, right? But then move on, right? We don't want to stay there too long. We want to let it out, and then we want to come back to joy, right? So a lot of people, I'm so sweaty. A lot of people are lacking in joy because they have a stick up their ass. And you can tell. You can tell when you look at people and they have a stick up their ass, right? Because they're kind of like, you know, like this person. They're like, fuck my ex-boyfriend. Right? Whereas if they could just let it out, right? If they could just tell the person how they feel, like, hey, you really hurt me there, and now I'm gonna move on, peace, forgiveness, bye. Like, they would feel joy again, right? Or even if you're just sitting at the bar and you think that guy is like really hot, okay? You're gonna feel way more joyful if you tell that guy, hey, I think you're really hot, even if he rejects you, okay? Well, if you have a whole lot of shit around rejection, then you might feel less joyful. But in the long run, you're gonna feel more joyful as you express yourself, right? And as you tell the people in your life how you're feeling, right? And that's something I used to really struggle with, is like, I just literally wouldn't tell people anything. Everything was all in here, right? I didn't even tell people like what I was studying. Like, I've been studying self-help shit for like years, like literally since I was like a teenager, and I didn't even talk about it at all. I didn't even talk about any of the things that I liked with people ever. Like, it was like, and it's still hard for me sometimes. It's still hard for me sometimes to, you know, express who I actually am, but you know, I know this stuff. So I know that the more that I do this and the more that I share who I really am, the more that I'm expressing the joy that's within me, like a child, right? Like, joy is such a childlike emotion. When you were a child, you were probably a lot better at being in joy because you weren't thinking about it. You weren't thinking like, oh, I better like tone it down so that people don't think I'm fucking annoying. You were just like, hey, this thing is awesome and I'm gonna tell everybody, right? That's how to be more in joy. Okay, thanks, Mike. So, I'm trying to think. Is that all I want to say? Yeah, and joy is a very personal thing. So, you want to make a list of things that actually bring you joy, and get quiet and, you know, put your hand on your heart and ask yourself and ask your soul or higher self, like, what do I need to do to bring more joy into my life? And you will hear the answer. And it's going to involve doing things. Okay, one of the ways we block joy, you guys, is by not doing things, right? Like, we might get the impulse to do something, like say hi to this person, or take this course, or, you know, work with this coach, or like tell that guy that he's hot, and then we don't do it, okay? And when we don't follow the impulse, that's a soul impulse, okay? We cut ourselves off from joy, right? And when we do follow the impulses, we get led down the path, right? So it's about trusting yourself that you actually know what to do and you've been guided all along. And if you follow the impulse, you will be led to more joy. And the impulse might just be something like, read that book, right? And you might think, well, that doesn't matter. That's not going to impact my life at all if I just sit down and read that book right now. But it would, because maybe when you're reading that book, you'll get the idea for the next program you're going to launch. It's going to change the whole world, right? Like, you never know. And, you know, might get the impulse to, like, say hi to some guy. And then you'll be like, well, I don't have to do that right now, like, whatever. But it might have been, like, the right moment where if you said hi to that guy, he would invite you out. And then, like, when you're out, you're going to meet the guy that's your actual soulmate or something, right? Like, you never know the perfect plan that the universe or your soul has for you, right? Unless you take action and actually do those things, right? So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say, you guys. I'm so hot. I have to pee. But I do want to invite you into my brand new Joy of Living VIP group, you guys. This has been a long time coming. This is something I've wanted to create for a while. And it is open for enrollment now. It's going to be open for enrollment till May 30th. This group is an exclusive only for a certain kind of person who I feel, you know, we have a soul connection vibe with. Because it's going to be this space of like pure joy, and where I'm going to be teaching a monthly training once a month. There's going to be a monthly live hypnosis as well. There's going to be weekly astrological updates. So it's going to be also a place where I'm going to share more of my astrologer side, which is something I don't share as much of on my Facebook. It's more on like my YouTube videos and stuff. And I know a lot of you actually follow me for the astrology. So you're gonna love this group. It's a super low cost monthly membership. It's $69 a month. So basically everybody can fucking afford it. Or you can pay in full for the year and get a bit of a discount. So I'm really excited about this, you guys. Like, I'm calling in a tribe of people who are ready to live in more joy and have this supportive community of people who we're all on the same page, right? Like, it's so much easier to become more of your soul and become more of your higher self when you've got this group of people who like are holding your hand but also kicking your ass into joy. And so I'll be there. And also there's going to be support with me in the group, so if you need my help with anything, you can post in the group and have the others help you, but also me. So I'm really excited about that. It's the Joy of Living Mastery VIP group. Message me if you're curious about this, and I'll give you the lowdown of everything, but I pretty much just fucking told you everything, but I can send you the link. Yeah, if you're the right person, though. So message me if you're curious about that, and we can do it. I'm super excited. The group is going to be opening up next week, and so I'm going to be already dropping content in there next week, and you can already be asking for my support next week. And enrollment is going to close on May 30th, so I just wanted to let you guys know. It's going to be a super fun, high vibe space with lots of healing and growth and joy, most importantly. So I'm really excited about it. Message me if you want to sign up, want more info. And we'll talk super soon, you guys. Remember, you came for the joy of living. Bye.